Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at this slick little auction slash bidding game called Equity. Equity is a 3 to 6 player auction style game where players are trying to be the first one to buy a yacht, which looks like this, and have 50 grand. If you can do that, you're the winner. You're going to do that by a series of rounds where you're buying art, selling art, buying stocks, using some inside information to earn a pile of cash, buying a pair of stocks, selling in the market to other people to earn money to buy your yacht. It's a simple game. It's pretty simple. I think I already said that. It's a simple game. It's fun. Let's go down to the table. So I'll stop talking. See how it plays. All right, so here's a game of Equity set up for 3 players. To set up, you're going to give each player $50,000, which I have here. It's paper money, so there is that. You get 2 20s and a 10 or some combination of whatever you'd like to do. For it being paper money, it is really nice. It has cool pictures and some facts about the person on the card, so that's cool. Each player is going to get 3 random stocks, which I have right here. The stocks are basically going to say a type of stock, and then based on how many of that stock you have is how much money you're going to get. So each player is going to get 3 of those randomly. So as you can see, this player has 2 green, this player has 2 red, and then this player doesn't have doubles of anything. And each player is going to get an action card, which looks like this on the back, and on the front they're going to have a name and some action that they do. These are cards that you can use whenever they apply during the game. All right, you're going to put the appropriate stacks of cards on the appropriate areas on the board. Put the bull, which is this little guy right here. You're going to put him on the single stock marker. It's a little different color than the rest, so you can tell. And you're going to set the license aside, a yacht, the yachts aside, these cards right here aside, and you can have the bank up here at the top. All right, so the way this game works is it's a pure auction game. You're going to be bidding, you're going to be trading, you're going to be earning money. You want to be the first person to earn a yacht, which costs 50 grand. Yachts are really nice. They're these cool little wooden pieces. Each player at any given time can only have 1 yacht. And you also want to have $50,000. So whoever can do that first is the winner. If there's ties, there's some stuff that happens. But that's the trigger is a yacht, 50 grand. Let's see, what else? When it's a player's turn, you're going to put the dice in front of that player so you know whose turn it is. So the dice are going to be used for income and to mark player order. And then that's essentially it. Let's get started. So the game is going to go around this rondel, and as it goes around, it's going to signify what action you can do. So to get started, we're going to start on the 1 stock space. First thing that happens on a player's turn, so we're going to go, this player's going to go first, and we're just going to go this way. So the first thing that happens on a player's turn is they're going to roll the dice. So you roll the die. The player has a 5. So they're going to take the pips times how much money they get based on how many stocks they have. So if you look at this one, the fish farm, if you look at this one, 1 stock will get them $200. So they're going to take that $200 times 5 because it's multiplied by 5, and they're going to get $1,000. So they get $1,000 for the fish farm. And here they have 2. So you can see here, 2 stocks is going to give you $700 for the brewery. And that's per stock. So I'm going to get them multiply 700 times 5 for both stocks. That's 3,500 twice, so 7 grand. So I'm going to get $7,000 added to my total. Let me put these in numerical order here. All right. So now, that was that. Then next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the action of the space. So what happens here is we're going to flip over a stock tile. So we have a purple shipping stock that came up. And that is now going to be up for auction. So the way that auctions work is, the way that an auction works is players are going to bid starting with the first player. And you're going to go until everybody passes. Whoever buys the stock pays the amount of money to the bank, takes the stock, puts it in their supply face up. So I'm going to do quick betting or bidding just to see how it plays. So I'm going to roll a die to see how much everybody wants to bid. So first player, they're going to bid 5,000. This player, they're going to bid 4. Then that player bid 6. So that player is going to win it, we'll say. So they're going to pay $6,000. So they'll cash in their 10. And they'll take 4 ones. Pay six grand. And then they get to take the stock. It comes over here in their supply. And then they also get to take an action card. Every time you win an auction, you get an action card. So this one is going to show they want an art buyer for that certain kind of art, which that'll make sense when we get to the next round. So they now have another action card. Put it right there. You can't see both of those. That's fine. Slide this up a little. All right, so now you can see all that. Slide this up. All right, and that was this player's turn. Next thing, we're going to move to this space, and it's the second player's turn. Let me check the rule book, make sure I don't mess anything up. All right, so what we're doing here, this is the secret art auction. And the way that this works is it's going to function and start out the same way as the beginning one with the player rolling dice for income. So we're going to do that first. So we'll roll. So they have a 4. 4 times all of this. So a brewery is $300 for 1 share times 4 is $1,200. So we'll take that. $1,200. The oil company is $200 per share times 4. That's $800. So that'll be $2 grand total. So let's just take $2 grand. And then the wind power is 200 times 4. So that's another $800. So we'll take 800 bones. All right. And again, this might go faster with non-paper money, but I just wanted to show you the components that are in the game. And I mean, I don't love paper money, but it kind of goes with the feel of this game, so I kind of like it. All right. The next thing that happens is we are going to do our first art bid. So what happens now is we're going to take a piece of art, just like we did with the stocks. We're going to flip it up. So this one we have Matthias Van Geest. I'm not sure if I said that right. Probably not. That's okay. And then we're all going to auction this off. So the way this one works is this space actually has a question mark. That means we're going to be writing down our bids and simultaneously flipping. Whoever has the highest bid takes the card. So I forgot to get paper. That's my fault. So we would just say this player bid 3, this player bid 6, and this player bid 5. So this player flips. They paid 6 grand. So they're going to pay for this because they win the bid. So I'll turn it into 10,000, take 4 ones. And then they take the art card. Art cards stay face up just like stocks. These actually aren't face up. I just have them face up so I don't forget what everybody has. So this player would get the art card. So they'll go ahead and put that right there next to their stock. And then they also get an action card. Tax evasion. You're going to penalize the player for 10 grand. It's kind of mean. That's okay. All right. So now they have another card they can play at any time. And then that's it. We're going to move the bull to the next space, which is interesting. And then this player will be the first player. All right. So the next space that we're going to look at is called Inside Information. And that's going to be these red, yellow, and orange cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to, well, first thing, this player is going to roll their dice to collect income. So they have 4. So they have wind power. They have 2 things of wind power. You can see that's $500 a share. So that's 2,000 each. So that's 4 grand. All right, 4 grand. Then they have shipping, which is 1, so that's going to get them $400. Because it's 100 times 4. And then they have aviation or airline, I think that says. I can't read it. Yeah, airlines, which is 200 times 4. That's 800. So they'll take 1,000. Give 2 of these back. And they got their money. All right. Now, they're going to get started with the next piece. So what happens here is you're going to shuffle all of these cards. Let me show you what these cards look like. These cards are going to have a monetary value on the back. you can see they range from 0 to 25 grand. The orange ones are 0 to 33, and the red is 0 to 45. So you're going to shuffle these cards up, and you're going to put one randomly on the appropriate space on the board. So I'll put one there. There's a little more steps, but let's just get that set up here quickly. So orange, and then red. All right, then what you're going to do is you're going to pass out the rest of the cards to each player in turn order. So this player will get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then 3, Okay, so now what these players are going to do, they're going to look at the cards they have. I'm not going to do that because I just simulate like they know what they're doing. So they're going to look at all the cards that they've been given. I'll show you one player. So they're going to look at the cards that they have. So they know that they know it's not the yellow 0. They know it's not the orange 0. And they know that it's not 10,000 and 45,000 in red. So all these players are going to have some kind of inside information, hence inside information, as to what is in that amount. So this player knows that it's not 0. So they're going to bid, well, this player gets first bid. They don't know what everybody else has. So they will say, you know, they're thinking that could be 25 grand. They'll say 5 grand. So they say 5 grand. It comes to this player. They know it's not the 0. So they know it could be the 5 grand. And they'll say 8 grand. Comes to this player. They think they're going to go 10 grand. This player passes. This player passes. So this player is going to take the yellow one because they know that they have 15. So it's not 15. And they're going to pay 10 grand, I think is what I said. I can't remember. If that's wrong, I apologize. But this player is going to get that yellow card by paying 10 grand. So we'll get rid of the 20. We'll take a 10. And then they are going to take the card, see what they get. 25 grand. So they're basically going to get their 10 grand back plus 15 more. So I'm going to give them 25 grand, which they really netted 15. Not a bad bid at all. All right, then this card can just go away. Then we'll do the same with orange. It will be this player's turn to bid again. And this player also gets an action card. So this is going to just do that. I'm not going to really focus on those cards. Just know that they're really handy and really nice. So they can really change the game around for somebody. Just keep that in mind when you're playing. All right. So then it is this player's turn again. So they're going to bid. Let's see. They want to know what they have for orange. So they have the $33,000 card for orange. So they're thinking, man, that's the big dog. So it may not be worth much. So they're just going to go ahead and pass. So to come to this player, they only know what they have, and they know that they have the 0. So they know that it's not 0. So they'll bid 5. This player just won a whole chunk of change. So they're going to go ahead and bid 10 again. They're already out. They pass. So they're going to spend 10 grand. Gotta spend money to make money. That's what Warren Buffett always says. All right, so 10 grand. They're putting the 10 grand in here. Then they're going to see what they got. 7 grand. So they have to pay another 3, or they get 7 grand back. So they lost 3 grand on that deal. Not terrible, but you definitely don't want to lose money. That's not good. So they get 7 grand. This card goes away. And they also get an action card. Tax fraud. Just being mean to somebody, making them lose money. Okay. Then we'll do the red card. Start with that player again. They have 1 red card. It's 30 grand. So they know that it might not be the big dog, but they're going to bid 5 grand. This player wants to get on the game. What do they have in red? They have 10 and 45. So they know it could be 0, 30, or 20. So they'll get in on... they'll jump in on 15 grand. So everybody else is passing. So this player's going to bid 15 grand. take their 5 back. And then I can get rid of all these real quick so I can free up some room on my board here. All right. Then they're going to flip this and see what they won. They won 20 grand. So they ended up netting 5 grand. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. And they're going to get this. So they're looking for art from this person and they can get a fat stack of cash. All right. And that is that. Now we will move on. This comes back to this player. Now I'm going to skip over this section. It basically functions the same as a stock, except we're going to flip 2 stocks and you buy them as a pair. So we flip these 2 and then you're bidding on both of those stocks instead of just one. And I think you get a card still if you win. Yep, you still get an action card, and then it would pass to the player. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and pretend like somebody got those, so they're out of the game. This is moving. All right, this is interesting. So it'll be this player's turn. They would roll, collect their income. I'm not going to do that every time because you get it. So the license, the way the license works is you're going to bid for this license. What this does is it acts as 1 share, $500. So if you roll a 5, it'd be worth 2,500 bucks. But it's also going to let you roll your die again, and then you have to take that second amount. So say I rolled a 1, I can say, hey, I'm going to roll again. And then if I rolled a 1, I'm stuck. But I could get higher and do all that. The tricky thing with this license is once it comes back around here, whoever wins this license can no longer bid on it again. So say this player won the license. When this comes all the way back around, they wouldn't even be allowed to bid. So it would be between these 2 players to get the license. And just like every other auction, when you win it, you get an action card. So that's that. So we will say, we'll give it to this player. They won it. So they're going to be the one who has it this round. Then we'll go over to here. This is another art auction. Instead of writing things down this time, you're going to do a normal bid, just like we do for stocks. So it would be this player's turn. They'll roll, collect their income. They would put this up for auction. Whoever wants to bid, bids. Whoever wins it would get it. So we'll say this player gets it just because they have room. They also get an action card. Then we'll go here. This is the final space. So what this final space is, this is where you are going to market. You're going to be able to buy a yacht here for 50 grand, and you can sell things. You can do a whole bunch of good stuff here. So on the space, you have to sell 1 art card or 1 stock card, every player. So say this player, they don't want this because they don't have any cards to go with this. They'll sell it. They can't bid on it. These 2 players can bid on it. Whatever it goes for, this player would get the money, and whoever wins it also gets an action card, just like normal. So we'll say this player buys it because they're in the art game. They bought it for $1 grand, so they'll give them $1 grand. Then they have to put up, they're done. It's an art card or a stock card, I believe. Yep, so they sold an art. This player wants to sell a stock. They're going to get rid of purple because nobody wants, they'll get rid of this green because they know they can't ever get more than 2 greens because there's only 4 total. So they'll sell this. This player really wants the green, so they're going to pay $5 grand for it. So we'll just assume everybody passed, and this player gets it for $5 grand. Come on, yes. All right, so they get the $5 grand. This goes here. They're going to take this. They now have 3 wind power. And then they also get an action card. It'll do that. You can take a look at that. Put it there. Then this player is going to auction off their shipping because it's piddly for $100. No one wants it, but this player will take it and they'll pay $100 for it. So they'll pay, let me see if I can find a hundo. Come on, have a hundo. Don't have a hundo. Fine, I'll make change. $5 grand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they get a hundo. All right. So then they get this stock, and they get an action card. Ooh, Pay 7 grand to buy an art card. You can do that at any time. That's pretty nice. And then we'll go back here. It'll be this player's turn. And we'll keep going like that until somebody hits the win condition of a yacht and 50 grand. And that is how equity works. Let's go up to the top, see what we think about it. All right, so that was equity. This is a slick game. One thing I'm impressed about the most is I love the art. It's simple, it's elegant. Look at this board. This board is gorgeous. Has those spaces there. It's just awesome artwork, simple. Everything is simple. The stocks, they get the point across, but they look really nice. They're easy to understand. Not the action cards. Again, a simple little picture, what it does. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this game for components wise. Even these cards, simple, on the back, an amount of money. Easy. I like it. It says what it does. It is what it is. Here's my issue. The one component issue that I have. Paper money. But even though, I mean, it has people who are big in economics, and it has little factoids of some things that they do. So at least while you're sitting there waiting, you can look at this. Yeah, I really enjoy this game. Definitely one of those games you want to play with more people. 3 players are fine, but when you get to the market phase and you start selling your stocks to people, it's just 2 people fighting for it. Where if you're playing a 6-player game, you're going to have 5 people duking it out for something that they may really want. Stocks are going to be tighter in a higher player game. Artworks are going to be tighter because there's only this many art cards. There are not a lot of art cards. Everyone's different. There's 1 buyer for every piece of art. So if you have that buyer, you definitely want to get that art. So it becomes more cutthroat in that aspect. Yeah, I don't have enough nice stuff to say about this game. I am really surprised by it. I don't know why it's not taken off more than it is right now, because it's gorgeous. It's easy to play. It's fun. If you like auction games, this is definitely a game you need to check out. And that being said, this is BGM accepted all day by me, and I can't wait to play it some more. I'm a fan of auction games. I'm a fan of auction games that look nice. Fan of auction games that make it simple, easy to understand, easy to teach, and this one does all of that. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. That was my equity board game review, and keep gaming.